Okay, an interesting topic. They withhold sex, then made you the villain. Sometimes the trap is not only the sexlessness, the trap is waiting until you finally break so they can blame you for breaking. No sex, no affection, no answers, no repair, no plan. But the moment you finally explode, shut down, cheat, leave, or say, I cannot do this anymore, suddenly the story becomes, you destroyed the relationship. You gave up on us. You were only after sex. You abandoned me. You're the problem. This video is for you if you feel trapped in sexual and emotional limbo, and if you're terrified that no matter what you do, you will be made the villain. Watch until the end because I'm going to give you the clean script that helps you stop begging, stop reacting, stop giving them evidence, and move forward with truth, dignity, and boundaries. Hi, I am Dr. Tangie, the sex doctor, board certified clinical sexologist, and on this channel, I speak truth without sugarcoating it. If you want direct, honest, and useful answers to your sex and relationship challenges, I invite you to subscribe. Your subscription tells me that you appreciate my work, and it helps this channel grow and reach a broader audience who desperately need to hear this content without shame. So please do it right now. Find the subscribe button, click on it, like this video, and share it with someone who needs it. Thanks. Now let's talk about when sexlessness becomes a trap to make you fail. You may never prove the motive, so let's start carefully. You may never prove that your partner is consciously setting you up. Maybe they are manipulating you. Maybe they're avoiding accountability. Maybe they're afraid of being the bad guy. Maybe they are emotionally checked out, but too cowardly to say it. Maybe they do not want sex, but they also do not want the consequences of refusing repair. You may never know the motive, but you do not need to prove motive to recognize the pattern. And the pattern may be this. They refuse sex, they refuse repair, they refuse therapy, they refuse medical evaluation, they refuse honest conversation, they refuse renegotiation, they refuse to say what they actually want. But they also refuse to let you leave peacefully. And if you stay, you suffer. If you ask questions, you're pressuring them. If you stop asking, you're distant. If you get angry, you're unstable. If you cheat, they have proof. If you leave, they say you abandoned them. That is the trap. And the way out of the trap is not proving their motive. The way out is naming the pattern. And the trap works by pushing you until you react. Here is how it usually happens. At first, you try to talk. You say, we're not having sex. What is going on? They minimize it. Then you ask again. They say, why is this always about sex? So you stop asking. Nothing changes. Now you become sad, rejected, anxious, resentful, ashamed, lonely, or numb. Then they say, you're so negative now. You try again. They say, you're pressuring me. You finally get angry. They say, see, this is why I don't want to be close to you. You mentioned leaving. They say, so you're just going to throw everything away? You seek attention elsewhere. They say, I knew it. You were the problem all along. And suddenly, the entire history of avoidance disappears. Now everyone is focused on your reaction, not the years of silence, not the refusal to repair, not the lack of affection, not the emotional abandonment, only your reaction. That is how this pattern works. It keeps you starving until you behave in a way that confirms their preferred story. But do not give them evidence. Listen carefully, because this is the most important part of the video. Do not hand them the weapon. Do not cheat. Do not threaten. Do not scream. Do not stalk. Do not retaliate. Do not try to make them jealous. Do not have revenge sex. Do not send desperate paragraph after desperate paragraph trying to force empathy out of someone who keeps refusing accountability. I know you're hurting. I know you may feel rejected, humiliated, neglected, and emotionally abandoned. But if someone is already poisoning you as the unstable one, your job is to become painfully clean, calm, clear, documented, boundaried, specific. The way out is not chaos. The way out is clarity. So stop arguing only about sex. At this stage, the conversation cannot only be, we're not having sex, because they can twist that into, all you care about is sex. So you need to name the full relationship pattern. So try this. This is not only about sex. This is about the fact that our sexual relationship has ended and you will not discuss why. You will not participate in repair. You will not seek help. You will not renegotiate the relationship. And you will not tell me what you actually want. That leaves me in indefinite limbo. That is much harder to dismiss because now the issue is not your libido. The issue is the refusal to participate in the relationship. And this is low desire and relational sabotage, which are not the same thing. Low desire says, I'm struggling, but I care. Sabotage says, I won't touch you and I won't talk about it. Low desire says, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm willing to explore it. Sabotage says, stop bringing it up. Low desire says, I may need medical, emotional, or therapeutic support. Sabotage says, there is no problem except for your reaction. Low desire says, I don't want sex right now, but I want us to find a way forward. Sabotage says, I refuse sex, I refuse repair, I refuse clarity, and if you leave, you are the bad person. That is not just a desire difference. That is a control pattern. And we have to be brave enough to name it. And no one owes sex, but you're allowed to refuse permanent limbo. Let me absolutely be clear and repeat this. Nobody owes you sex. Nobody has to have sex they do not want. Nobody's body belongs to you because you're married, committed, dating, or in love. Consent matters every single time. But here's the part people keep avoiding. If someone does not want sex, they still owe honesty. They owe clarity. They owe participation in a real conversation about the relationship and what it is now. They do not get to unilaterally end the sexual relationship, but demand monogamy, refuse all repair, and then shame you for being devastated by it. They are allowed to say no to sex. You are allowed to say no to permanent unwanted celibacy with no answers and no plan. Both truths can exist at the same time. And the person who refuses repair does not get to control the whole story. Here's the line. If someone refuses to participate in repair, they do not get to act shocked when the relationship breaks. You cannot remove intimacy, remove affection, remove honesty, remove collaboration, remove accountability, and then act surprised when the other person says, I cannot live like this.
I can't do this anymore.
You are entitled to make decisions based on the relationship that actually exists. Not the relationship they keep promising, not the relationship they perform for other people, not the relationship they claim to want while doing nothing to protect it, but the actual relationship. That is the relationship you have to respond to. And this is a clean written boundary. When there have been years of confusion, do not rely only on emotional conversations. Write it down, not as a dramatic letter, not as an attack, but as a clear relational record. You can say, I want to be clear about where we are. Our sexual relationship has been absent for X amount of months or years. I have asked for conversation and repair multiple times. I am not asking you to have sex you do not want. I am asking for honesty and participation. I am willing to work on this through therapy, medical evaluation, structured intimacy work, or honest renegotiation. I am no longer willing to remain indefinitely in a sexless relationship with no answers, no plan, and no movement. That is clean and that is fair. That is not coercion. That is a boundary, and it prevents them from later saying, I had no idea this was serious. So give them choices, not chaos. Do not say, you better fix this or I'm done. Say, I need us to choose one of 4 honest paths. Path 1, repair. We do therapy, medical evaluation if needed, structured intimacy work, weekly check-ins, and a timeline. Path 2, redefine the relationship. We acknowledge that this relationship is now companionate or non-sexual, and we decide whether both of us truly consent to that. Path 3, renegotiate monogamy. If sex is not part of this relationship, we honestly discuss whether sexual exclusivity still makes sense. Path 4, separation. If we cannot repair, redefine, or renegotiate, then we discuss ending the relationship with dignity. That moves the conversation out of drama into reality. Because the goal is not to force sex. The goal is to force truth. Use a deadline because limbo is the trap. A trap survives on someday. Someday we'll talk. Some days things will improve. Someday I'll feel different. Someday we'll get help. Someday sex will return. Nope. Someday is where your life disappears. You need a timeline. Not because you're forcing sex, but because you're refusing indefinite uncertainty. You can say, I am willing to work on this for the next 60 to 90 days with a real plan. At the end of that time, we need to decide what this relationship is. If you're not willing to participate in that process, I will accept that as your answer. Again, that is not coercion, that is clarity. Now watch the blame reversal. When you set a boundary, the blame reversal may begin. They may say, oh, you're pressuring me. You're abandoning me. Oh, you're so selfish. You're obsessed with sex. You're breaking up the family. You never loved me. You're giving me an ultimatum.
You're abandoning me.
Stay calm.
You never loved me.
Say, I am not pressuring you to have sex. I am asking for honesty, repair, or a clear relationship agreement. If you do not want sex, I respect that. But I also have to decide whether I can remain in a relationship without sex, without repair, and without clarity. Repeat it. Do not get dragged into defending your entire character. The trap wants you to over-explain until you sound guilty. Do not give in. Do not over-explain. Just state the truth. And do not let them make your need for intimacy sound dirty. This is one of the cruelest parts. Some partners refuse sex and then shame you for wanting it. They say, that's all you care about. You're disgusting. You're shallow. You should love me without sex. You're acting like an animal. No, wanting sexual connection in a romantic relationship is not dirty. Wanting touch, desire, closeness, eroticism, and mutual pleasure is not dirty. The issue is not that you want sex. The issue is whether both people can consent to the relationship structure that now exists. They are allowed not to want sex, but you are also allowed not to want permanent unwanted celibacy. But shame should not be used to trap you. If they want you to leave, make them say the truth. Sometimes the person who refuses sex does not want to be the one to end the relationship. So they create the conditions where you end it. Then they get to say, you left me. But the more honest sentence may be, I created a relationship you could not survive in and then blamed you for leaving. That is why you ask directly, do you want this relationship to continue as a romantic and sexual partnership? Are you willing to participate in repair? If not, are you asking me to accept a permanently non-sexual relationship? Are you willing to say that clearly? Make them name the relationship they're actually offering to you. Do not let them hide behind vague love language while giving you no intimacy and no path forward. Because I love you without truth, repair, or action can become another form of limbo. And if they refuse to answer, the refusal is the answer. Some people will not say the truth because saying the truth creates accountability. They may never say, I do not want sex with you. I do not want to work on this. I want the relationship benefits, but not the intimacy. I want you to end it so I can blame you. They may never say that. So stop waiting for the confession. Look at the pattern. If the pattern is no sex, no repair, no clarity, no follow through, and blame when you ask questions, that is enough information to make decisions. You do not need their admission to reclaim your life. So build your support before making big moves. If you're in a high conflict, emotionally manipulative, financially complicated, or unsafe relationship, do not make dramatic threats. Get support. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a trusted friend. Consult an attorney if you're married and separation may be possible. Understand your finances. Know where you would go. Know what support you need. Prepare yourself emotionally. That is not about sneaking. This is about not making life-changing decisions based on panic. Clarity first, support first, and then action. And this is the final script to use if you're in this situation. I am no longer willing to live in sexual and emotional limbo. I am not asking you to have sex you do not want. I am asking for honesty, participation, and a clear plan. If you want to repair this relationship, I am willing to work with you for the next 60 to 90 days with therapy, medical evaluation if needed, and structured intimacy conversations. If you do not want to repair it, then we need to be honest about what this relationship is now. But I will not continue in a pattern where sex is gone, answers are avoided, and then I am blamed for the pain this creates. That is the exit from the trap. Not cheating, not exploding, not begging, not disappearing, but truth, boundaries, timeline, and action. Bottom line, are they setting you up to fail? Maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously. Maybe they're too afraid to end it. Maybe they want you to be the one who breaks. Maybe they want the moral high ground. Maybe they want the stability without the intimacy. But your job is not to prove their motive. Your job is to stop participating in the trap. Do not fail in the ways they can use against you. Do not betray your own values. Do not give them chaos when the truth is already enough. Measure their behavior. Set a timeline. Ask for participation. Document the pattern. Get support and make decisions based on reality. Because if someone keeps you starving, then blames you for leaving the table, that is not love. That is avoidance dressed as innocence. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like your partner was withholding intimacy and waiting for you to be the one to break? What hurt more? The sexlessness, the blame, or realizing they might be setting you up to become the villain? And what would help you leave the limbo cleanly? A written boundary, a 90-day plan, therapy, legal advice, or emotional support? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read the comments, and I know many people are living this pattern silently. As usual, I wish you safe, healthy, and pleasurable sex of whatever kind you practice. See you next time.